glad that you're here with us today, and we hope that it will continue to be that way. And today we're going to be talking about the chapter third of Bible history. First chapter third of Bible history. So it's gonna be a fantastic time, and we're going to see if we're going to get well. So all messages are visible, and even if we don't get to play on today, right now we're going to do it in just a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about before the flood. Before the flood. Going on good, like about 7 of them today, and then tomorrow we get doing the other. And, so, but this first one is called Before the Flood, and it says the stories that occur at or near the time of the creation. Link is the idea that before the flood suggests that the next period is the flood, because this first period includes everything before the flood. Some might be tempted to call this period the antediluvian age, because we have a word that sounds very intelligible word instead of an easy understood one. I know what it means, but since my desire as a teacher is for people to understand me, I will never use a word in a study like this. And if the, if the first period in the Bible is before the flood, what would the next one be? Sometimes people say after the flood. The problem with that divination is it is too broad, because the day we live in is after the flood too. Besides, before the flood and after the flood skips the flood itself, so the next period is. So the next period is the flood. So I appreciate y'all joining in with me today, and I don't know why I can get no chance in, but working on that too. Another thing I'm working on getting all new equipment and trying that for the first time. So maybe that's time I have my keypad, my keyboard set up for it, and then we'll have it made. Alright. So the next one, number two, is the flood. Like I said, the next spirit is the flood. And most everyone has heard of Noah and the flood. The link with the preceding period is the name of the period. before the flood reminds us that the next comes the flood. The link with the next period is that Noah and his family grew and moved down from Mount Ararat until his descendants came to the plain of Shinar, where they built the Tower of Babel. Okay, let's try naming both periods we have learned so far. Can we handle that? That was no problem, was it? All right, so number three, scattering of the people. Scattering of the people. It says Towers of Babel. Link is that after the Towers of Babel, the family separated. Shem's family stayed more or less in the victory of Macedonia. From Shem comes Abraham, and Abraham was one of the patriarch, 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 uh, and four is patriarch. Uh, Pediatrics means father ruler. In the day of the pediatrics, there were many, but when we talk about the patriarchs, we are talking about three: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In addition to those characters, we include Joseph. The story of Joseph connects Gen- Genesis to Exodus. In his days, the family of Israel moves down into Egypt. His story explains why, at the beginning of the book of Exodus, the Israelites are in Egypt. The link with the next period is that the Israelites did not stay in Egypt forever. At some point, they exited Egypt, and Exodus is just a word meaning going great, going forth, man, going forth. So number five is Exodus. Is Exodus, 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 Exodus. So Exodus in this period we include from the opening of the book of Exodus under the events of Kadesh Barnea because during all this time Israel was going forth for clinging until they reached Kadesh Barnea. The sin they committed, they required punishment, and that punishment was wandering in the wilderness. And number six is wandering in the wilderness. That's what I'm talking about, wandering in the wilderness. And this is so that we be teaching in church on Sunday or Wednesday night and then Sunday, excuse me. And it ain't gonna take very long to do all this, but I mean, it won't take maybe a few days and then we'll be out of this book and then go another one. So, six is wandering in the wilderness. Includes such stories as career, Dathan, Abram, and Balaam and his donkey. Because the period of wandering in the wilderness until the Israelites gone forward into Canaan. At that point, they crossed into the land of Canaan. Our link here is the idea that the Israelites do not wander in the wilderness forever. Something brought the wandering in the wilderness to an end. They came to an end when they got where they were going, in other words, when they invaded and conquered the land of Canaan. And number seven, the invasion and conquest of the land. The invasion and conquest of the land. History includes from the crossing of the Jordan to the desert Joshua. Our link is the next period is that after Joshua, another generation rose that knew not the Lord. Israel became unfaithful. They repented and cried out for deliverance, and God sent them kids. So tomorrow we can on 8. So 14 and we'll start there from tomorrow night. But I appreciate y'all joining in and missing out. Remember Jesus loves you and remember Jesus remember keep your mind on eyes focus on Jesus Christ. He's the one that leads to heaven. Once you get to heaven, he'll pull you up and into his holy kingdom, Lord. Be with him forever and ever. Amen. Y'all blessed, wonderful day.